Hi everyone, Craig Stage, Superintendent of the Athens Area School District. I'm back again with another teacher chat. This time I have Mr. Jeff Novak. Mr. Novak is a science teacher out here at the SRU Elementary. Mr. Novak, thank you for allowing me to do a teacher chat with you.
Thank you.
Mr. Novak, you teach science. You just did a project called the MeWe project. Can you explain that to the audience?
So last year I did some professional development where we're starting to get into the new steel standards, and they took us out to a creek in Williamsport and let us adults become kids again and just screen for different macroinvertebrates. So the first thing I said after that, I talked to another teacher in Athens and I said, I'm going to do a MeWe with my students. So it means meaningful watershed educational experience. We look at the macroinvertebrates that should inhabit the local creeks and rivers here. And if there is an absence of certain macroinvertebrates, it means that there is an unhealthy water in that creek or river. Yesterday we were at Sugar Creek at Elbron Park, and we saw every macroinvertebrate that would be living and should be living in the waters around here. So they're healthy waters. It's really cool. I plan to do it in years to come and to find places where it might not be as healthy. And then the questions, because everybody's a scientist. We all ask questions. They should ask, well, why aren't some of these macroinvertebrates part of the population? Maybe they're not as strong. And what could be the contributing factor for them not being there? So that it's part of what I see in my kids and what I am like in general. I'm always asking questions, and these kids always need to be asking questions. And, get out there and get dirty.
Yeah, it was definitely a day, and I was out there as well checking it out, and I saw some really crazy stuff. I can't believe you find that stuff in the local creeks around here. The kids were so excited, and I think they were excited because you were excited. And what's your favorite part about teaching science to our elementary students?
Discovery.
Yeah. Explain that to me.
So I can give an anecdotal. Years ago, we were learning about transfer of energy. And so we had a string run taut across the classroom with two bottles half full of water. And we just pulled one back. We got talking about kinetic energy, potential energy, gravitational potential energy. And we let go of one. And that bottle just stopped. And the other one immediately took up that movement. And then it stopped and took up movement. And the kids were amazed. And I ran into several teachers in that hallway who probably, thought I was weird or crazy, but that's fine. And I said, you have to see this. That's my favorite part. And my favorite part is seeing the kids do that. I mean, I always go home and say to my wife or kids, this is what I've learned. Let's test it out in the kitchen. My wife's not too happy about that at times. But that's what drives me coming to this and doing this every day. I'm excited to see, is there going to be, what are we going to discover today? Right. What am I going to discover? What is the student going to see and be like, aha, yelling yesterday, Mr. Novak, I got crayfish. I heard that 50, 60, 70 times, crayfish. They loved it. The kids that wouldn't pick them up a week before were picking them up, holding them in their hands, not afraid of anything.
Yeah, I think that's amazing, and I think the discovery part. It's your job as one of our teachers is not always to answer all the questions, but to actually create more questions in our students. And I think that's amazing what you're doing. And you just talked about a few of the projects. You do tons of projects. There's tons of things around this room. It's amazing, and you're getting pretty good at teaching science, and so good that I think Mr. Collin wants to share. I think you've been nominated for something, and Mr. Collin, would you jump in and kind of share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So Mr. Novak has been nominated. He's actually a finalist for the Presidential Award for Excellence in Teaching Science and Math. He's up for science. This is a tremendous honor. There's really three big things they look at here, and I really think two of them you already just saw in him speaking. One is content knowledge of science, which not only did you see it in the video, but he's very passionate about it. He's always reading books, he's always attending conferences, and he's always bringing things back to try out in the classroom. Another element of it is the teacher's ability to motivate students and make them successful in that content area. And again, I think you're motivated to want to be in his classroom just from watching him talk about the couple of things that he's doing in there. Rarely do you walk by his classroom and not end up gravitating into the room to see what students are working on, because they're rarely just sitting at the desk, taking notes or anything. That very hands-on. Students are excited to come to science every day. And then the final thing they look at is student achievement in that subject area, which he's had a lot of success. If you look at even the state tests for science and the PSSA, which he was in 4th grade doing, and now has moved to 5th grade as the test has shifted as well. So it's a tremendous honor. It's been, I think, a lot of work on his part, something that started in the fall, and we just found out not too long ago that he is a finalist. And this is an award that comes from the White House. So this is a very, very big deal. This is the top honor for teachers teaching any STEM subject. So it's huge. We're super proud of him. We're super grateful to have him here at SRU inspiring our students. It's just a tremendous honor.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mr. Novak epitomizes so many of our great teachers here in the Wildcat family. Mr. Novak, one last question. Why do you love being a Wildcat?
Oh my goodness, I Wildcat since I was born. I mean, I was a Bulldog for a little while. I just love everything about this. I'm going to go start with SRU. Everything is family. I was out, we spent so many times telling each other something interesting that we learned or sharing a piece of knowledge. But I was over at Roe today connecting with teachers there. We all know each other, and that's part of the small, as a school, at the Wildcats, we're a tight-knit family. And I graduated Wildcat, so
Yeah.
I ventured out and I came back.
All right.
This
We
is where I
appreciate
was
you
made.
giving it back. So my last teacher chat for 23-24 will be back at the start of next school year. I'll have more videos throughout the summer talking about next school year, talking about other topics. But thank you to Mr. Novak and Mr. Collum. And as always, go Wildcats.